Hello everybody, my name is Colin09, welcome back to another video. Today, and this one is going to be another deck profile video, and in this one, it's going to be my deck profile and combos at the end as well of Dracotail branded. Yes, well, this is post-Justice Hunters. I know I have that in the title somewhere. Again, obviously this needs to be post-Justice Hunters. Obviously, if it wasn't, we wouldn't be playing with the Dracotail stuff. But I think this deck is actually very, very underrated. Now, obviously, Dracotail has actually been a competitive deck. You know, I think it got, like Jesse Cotton just topped with it in top 8 at Vancouver, which is insane. It's a very good deck. And, you know, is it as good as Yummy and Vanquishal Canine? In my opinion, I think it is. But people have been trying out the Dracotail stuff for sure. But a lot of people have been playing it like as the pure version of the deck. This is the branded version of the deck. Now, this isn't like a 60-card branded list. You don't have to worry about this. This is a 42-card list that I am playing. It's a very small branded list. Once we get there to the branded stuff, I'll talk more about that once we get there. But it's not that big of a branded package. You actually don't really need that much with that. So basically, this is like Dracotail with maybe a small package of branded. And, you know, that's all you really need, in my opinion. The Dracotail can do a lot of heavy lifting. You don't need the branded stuff to do the heavy lifting in this deck. So, yeah, I think this is a very, very, very underrated version of this deck. I took it to a regional, Denver, last week, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I went X2. You know, my only 2 losses ended up being against Floodgates. I got Paradise Smashered and then got deburied in another game. So, you know, that's something. You know, when I'm able to play the game, I think the deck's actually insane, can break through so much as well. So, but enough talking now. Let's get into the deck profile, shall we? So we'll start off with the main deck, obviously. The Dracotail stuff we will start off with first. We are playing 3 Lucas, 3 Famina, 3 Molulu, 1 Urgula, and 1 Pan. So this is the monster lineup for us in the Dracotail. This is a very standard. Pretty much every Dracotail list is playing this at these type of ratios. You're playing 3 Lucas because, you know, you're playing 3 of everything that helps you get to fusion summoning. So Lucas, Famina, and Molulu. Molulu and Famina can already fusion summon with their own effects, but Lucas can just search for one of these guys in that scenario. So that's fine. That's why you're playing 3 of this. And then we're only playing 1 of the, by technicality, bricks, but aren't necessarily bricks. These are just the ones that don't let you, or doesn't help you fusion summon. So these are the reason why you're playing these at 1. I've seen people play like 2 and 2 or something like that, and I do understand why, because you do kind of want to see these in hand because it does help your board breaking potential become a lot better, right? But again, it's one of those things. If you're trying, you know, we're trying not to brick as much with this deck. So these are going to contribute to bricks, because again, these do not help you fusion summon. You can't even normal summon these guys, which is unfortunate. But they are good in the deck. You do want to play them because there's plenty of ways to get them from the deck, like with Rahu and stuff like that, and ways to search it. So especially since I am on the branded version of the deck as well, I'm only playing 1. But if you are more of a pure version, you can maybe put this to 2 and 2. But I think 1 is fine because, again, you're not trying to brick with the deck. But yeah, pretty standard ratios for the Dracotails. 3 of each name that let you, or, you know, help you fusion summon, because Lucas can search for Mina, which helps you fusion. And then the ones that don't really help you fusion, but you still want in the deck because they are interruption pieces as well. Now on to the spell traps. Again, pretty standard stuff for Dracotail. 3 Ketu, 3 Rahu, 1 Flame, and 1 Horn. So yeah, pretty standard ratio. Again, you're playing 3 of every of the spells because this is just a Rhoda, and then going second also is a Poly, which is insane, and then Rahu is just a branded fusion, which is also very insane as well. This is the reason why, to be honest with you, the deck is super, super good, because these going second are just board breakers, which is absolutely insane to think about. Really, really good cards. So you do have to max them out at 3, unfortunately. There's like no non-negotiable things about that. I think you do need to play them at 3 because you need to see these cards in hand, especially going second because they are just board breakers as well. So that is very standard there. And then we're playing 1 of each trap, again, just pretty standard as well, because you don't want to draw these cards, but they are settable off all the Dracotail names as well, so like it makes sense why you need to play this. When I do side out, I do usually side out of one of the traps, unless it's like maybe like the mirror match. Like there's certain matchups where like, okay, I prefer to have both traps in like a grind match. But in most scenarios, when you're, you know, going second, you're most likely siding out of a trap to help you put in like more stuff in your side deck. Usually I take out Flame because Flame is just not necessary for me, to be honest with you, going second. I'd much rather have the Horn horn than the flame. But I know there's some people that are doing the opposite, where they side out a horn and keep the flame in the main deck. It really is just up your preference, how you break fields, how you play the deck, right? Really is up your preference, but I do think you need a side out of one of the traps when you do go second. But that is it for the Dracotail stuff. Again, all very standard stuff, nothing really too crazy when it comes to that. Nothing, nothing to worry about. Very standard stuff when it comes to the Dracotail stuff. Now on to the branded stuff. So, we are on 2 Cartesia, 1 Fallen of Albaz, 1 Quim, and then 3 fusion deployments and a branded fusion as well. So this is the small package of Albaz that I am playing. So, why did I decide to go with Albaz? So, the one thing I've quickly realized with Dracotail is sometimes it's going first isn't the greatest in the universe, right? Because, like, sure, it's still sitting up on, like, the Grammel plus double trap with Fulminating in hand is decent, don't get me wrong, but sometimes that just doesn't feel like it's enough. It feels like decks can just play through that like it's job, right? So I was like, I kind of want to play like a going first engine, right? Like, so I played K9 a couple weeks back, and I quickly realized the K9 version just was not the correct version because it's not helping you fusion summon. Sure, the K9 stuff is cool, but it's not helping you fusion summon. So I wanted to play an engine that would help you fusion summon. And people were already playing Cartesia as just another way to polymerization in this deck. So I was like, if I'm going to play Cartesia, why don't I just like throw in this small package of branded as well, where you only need the 1 Fallen and the 1 Quem, 3 deployment, and 1 branded fusion as well. Since we are playing Fallen, you might as well just play the branded fusion with it as well. I decided to do this instead because going first, the end fields you can make with the branded version of the deck is actually kind of nice. I'm not going to lie with you. They're very, very decent. They have a lot of interactions, and your opponent does have to worry about it. And it makes your end field a lot harder to break through, which is really, really good. And what you're trying to do is make your end field a lot harder to break through. So I do really like this package. We are playing 3 deployment just because we are trying to get to Cartesia as much as possible, as well, and not trying to waste our normal summon on it as well. And like by technicality, going second, it is like a board breaker because you can summon Fallen instead and then like Fallen fuse off. Now, does that come up as much? Surprisingly enough, it does. Like I have done it, but I don't think it's, comes up at every single game, right? But it does come up enough where that is something you do need to think about. Quam is only going first if I'm going to go game 2s or game 3s. If I'm going second, I'm for sure siding out of Quam. This is really only a going first card. But yeah, once you know you're going second, this card is pretty worthless. Branded Fusion is insane. It always will be, and especially with the Dracotail stuff, this can help you get access to your Dracotail stuff as well. So a very, very small package. It is enough. This is all you necessarily need for the branded stuff. And at the end of the day, if you really don't want to commit to the branded stuff in the deck, maybe you just don't have the right hand or something like that to do that, you can just go, okay, I'll just use Cartesia as a poly instead. And it's a spellcaster as well, which matters for an extra deck monster that we're about to get to in just 1 second as well. So a very small branded package, but I do believe this is really, really good. If you haven't given this a try with Dracotail, I would recommend trying this because I do really like the way that this plays, but you do have to play a little bit weirder going first. And it makes the deck a little bit more complicated going first because you have to kind of decide on which lines you're going to try to do. But I'll show that more off once we get to the combo portion of the video. Now on to the non-engine. So non-engine, we are playing, actually playing a lot. We're playing 3 Fua, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. We are playing 3 Fenrir as well. We're playing, now for 2s, we're playing 2 Nib, 2 Ghost Bell, 2 Valor as well. So this is my non-engine. This is what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 non-engine, which is very insane. That's a lot for a deck that, kind of needs its engine to play, right? But it's still very, very good. Now, the thing with Dracotails, you kind of need to make your non-engine monsters. That's just how the thing is because you need monsters to fusion summon with. So you can't really play like Imperms and stuff like that. I've seen people play like Super Polys and like even like Shaddoll fusion as well. But the problem I've been running with like trying to play those cards is like, it's not a monster at the end of the day. So like sometimes you just don't waste that hand trap and you're just like, fuck, now I just need a monster to fusion summon with. And this is why all my non-engine are monsters. Now, 3 Fua is obviously the best going second card in the game. This is why you're main decking it, but obviously when you're knowing going first, you're signing out of it for sure. Ash Blossom, I still very much hate this card. I think it's a lot better than I'm giving it credit, but I still do not like this card whatsoever. But you do have to play it because it do be stopping Charmy cards. So I think that's the reason why you do have to play it. But there's also, like in the mirror match, you can hit like a Ketu or a Rahu, which is like very insane. Preventing him from getting to a fusion summon is very insane. So I think for that reason, I think that might be worth it. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this card, but you know, it is playable in the format, so I am playing it. Fenrir is fucking insane. I'm so glad I put Fenrir in this deck. This is a new addition to the deck. My God, this card is a lot better than I said it was. Like I got a lot of shit for my tier list because I put this lower on the tier list, and like looking back on it, I'm like, damn, this card is a lot better than I gave it credit for. I really do like this card a lot. Not only is it going first, just an interruption piece, like you can just end on your end field, and it searches for a monster, which helps you fusion summon as well. But going second, it just applies a lot of pressure, especially against something like Yummy as well. Just being able to special this, like, oh, look at your field now. Fenrir just threatens your entire field, right? Because Herald of the Arclight, when you verse the Yummy matchup, is a fucking problem. So you need to have an out to that card, and Fenrir is an out to that card, which is pretty nice as well. So I really do like the Fenrir a lot. I know it's going to be a little bit weird because it does somewhat conflict with this card, Nibiru the Primal Being. Now, I still like Nibiru. Like, it's one of those cards, like I every time I think about cutting it, I'm like, I just can't. I like Nibiru just a little too much that I cannot cut it. Like, I do like this card a lot. And yes, it conflicts with Fenrir, and the Nib and Fenrir do conflict with each other. But again, at the end of the day, they are just monsters. So if you end up drawing both, you'll just take a sacrifice of, okay, I'm not going to be able to activate one of you, but I'm just going to use one of you as fusion material anyway. So that's perfectly fine with you. But I do like Nibiru in the deck quite a lot. So that's the reason why I have it in here. As only a 2 of, I don't think you necessarily need to play 3. I like Ghost Bell in this format. But a lot of the time with the Dracotail stuff, sometimes the Ghost Bell doesn't feel like it does enough, so I did put it down to 2, but I still wanted to have it in the deck because I still think it's an insane card. So I just put it down to 2, and I'm playing 2 Valor as well. I don't necessarily like playing Valor in this deck, but I am playing Valor just because, one, it's one of those hand traps. It's not a once per turn, so you can like Aetherlion, you can Valor, then summon Aetherlion, bring back Valor, and then activate Valor once again, which is nice to think about. The reason why I am playing it, though, and the reason why I think Nib is still like a mainstay for me as well, is because their attributes matter for the branded package, exactly. So they are light, so that matters for trying to get into your branded extra deck, which, again, once you get to the combos, you'll see why that matters, but that does matter a lot for their attributes as well. And Valor, again, like I said, is still nice with Aetherlion to add it back to hand, and then activating again is still not a bad thing for you as well. So this was my non-engine I was playing. I think it could be a little bit better. I was thinking of maybe playing like the Canine, like a Zuna and a Lupus in here. But again, the extra deck is just a little tight that I didn't end up doing that. But it's still like an option you can do once we get to the extra deck. I'll show you the 3 cards I would cut for that. But yeah, this is my non-engine for now. So again, 42 card list, 15 non-engine in a 42 card list is pretty nice. I'm not going to lie with you. But that is it for the main deck. Now let's get into the extra deck. So we're going to start off with the Dracotail stuff first before we move to the branded version of the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we are playing 3 Aetherlion, 2 Gulamel, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, 1 Mr. Rune, and 1 Secretarian as well. So this is what I would consider the Dracotail half of the deck. Now, technically, like, the branded half can get you to this as well, but, like, I would consider this more of a Dracotail portion of the deck than I would the branded portion of the deck. 3 Aetherlion, I think this is a mandatory 3 of. You just have to play 3 of this card. This card is just too good. It comes up at 3. You have to play 3 of this card for sure. Insane card, because going first, being able to add back like stuff you already use for fusion summons is pretty nice. So like I think this card is just a mandatory 3 of for sure. And going second is also just a way to break the field as well. Now you can maybe argue for Gulamel to go down to 1, just like go 3 and 1 if you want to. Like if you need extra deck space, I wouldn't argue against that. Now 2 has come up for me, so that's the reason why I am playing 2. But you don't necessarily need to play 2 of this card if you play like the deck like very sparing, or like if you use the card very sparingly, you don't necessarily need to have 2 of it. I am still playing 2 of it because I do end up using this card a lot, but I understand why some people are cutting it down to 1. 1 Mr. Rune, this is the one card I do want to cut. I honestly am not a fan of Mr. Rune, I'm not going to lie with you. I really don't like it, like, at all. Maybe it's because I'm playing the branded portion of the deck, so like I'm using more of the branded extra deck than I am using him as an interruption, but I still am just not a fan of Mr. Rune. But I don't know, I haven't summoned him once in this extra deck, but it is in the deck. But I'm just not a fan of Mr. Rune. That's just me, though. And then 1 Secretarian. This is not only a floodgate in like Dragon, so like against Blue Eyes or the Mirror Match, but it's also just a nice like guide to Reborn Your Guys, which is very nice as well. Now, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be using him as a floodgate target because that doesn't really matter in the mirror match because the mirror match has like 20 million ways to out this card anyway, so don't really think about the floodgate aspect of this. Again, this is just nice to have in the extra deck just because the reborn effect is very nice for this card as well. So even though it does have a floodgate effect, I'm using the second effect way more than I am using the floodgate effect with Second Terran. But that is it for the Dracotail portion of the extra deck there. Now on to the branded portion. So we're on one Granganoil, one Albion, one Lubellion, one Titaniclad, one Mirror Jade, and one Lulu Wallace as well. So every one of these cards do come up. So I think you do have to play all these cards no matter what. Granganoil is summonable off of Cartesia, and you also need it for fusion deployment for Cartesia exactly as well. But this being able to dump a light or dark, which one are you dumping? You're probably asking. I'm dumping Titaniclad. Now, the combo with this is you go Granganoil, summon out Granganoil. Let's say you had like a Molulu in hand, so you go Cartesia, fuse off Molulu and Cartesia, go into Granganoil. Or however the fuck you pronounce this card. Granganoil effect to dump Titaniclad, and then Molulu obviously sets, and then during the end phase, you add back Cartesia to your hand, which matters a lot because that gets you more hand advantage for fusion summonings during your opponent's turn, so that's very nice. But also, Titaniclad will trigger summoning out Quem because Quem is considered a dogmatic monster. So you summon out Quem dump Albaz, and now you have interruption because now you have Albaz or Quem to summon Albaz during your opponent's turn, which is very nice to summon out either like a Mirror Jade or an Albion, all depending on what the matchup is. But to summon out interruption from your extra deck, so that is something they have to worry about. But also, Granganoil is also an interruption because it can also summon out Lulu Wallace as well, and this is just like a random interruption piece. Again, is it the greatest in the world? Probably not, but like in my opinion, this is better than what the K9 Tough is trying to do. Because if you verse the Yummy matchup, this is still live, unlike the K9 cards, right? So I do like this half of the deck. I'm still not going to lie with you. And also, Mirror Jade is just an asshole. If you end up getting the Mirror Jade, and if they ever clear it, you're wiping their field as well, which is very nice. Because it's very hard to kill you through this deck, because this deck is ending on a lot of monsters with the Albaz stuff. Again, once you get to the combos, you'll see why. But I do like this extra deck quite a lot. I don't think you need to play more than this. Titaniclad is also an out to the Lunalight Liger Dancer, so if you go Branded Fusion, you can dump, since we are playing Nib in the main, dump Nib and Albaz, summon Titaniclad. That's 15 stars, so it gains 1500 attack. So it goes up to 4k, which is big enough to beat over the Lunalight dude, the I forgot his name, Liger Dancer, and it's unaffected by monster special from the extra deck, so they can't even board wipe to protect. You just go battle clear, which is very nice as well. So that is something to think about as well when it comes to that card. But again, I think this is pretty good for an extra deck. Now, we do have two more cards in the extra deck we do have to cover, and that is probably cuttable cards, but I'm still playing, and that is Spirit and Seals. I do like these cards a lot. This is only in here, if I just draw a Dracotail, this is still in here for just Dracotail, which is very nice because Seals can get to Albaz because it can summon out any dragon, so this can just still summon Fallen if you really need it to. But this is the reason why I still like it in the extra deck. And also, Cartesia is a spellcaster, so if you end up not going the Albaz line, you can just, okay, turn Cartesia into a Spirit, still go into a Seals that way as well. I do like this in the extra deck. Even though we are playing a lot of things that lock us into fusions, I still like this in the extra deck because there are ways to make sure you get to this before fusion locking yourself, right? With Rahu or something like that. So this is something if you do want to play the K9 portion of the deck, if you do play the K9 extra deck Azuna and Lupus, you have 3 slots. That would be this, and you can also cut Mr. Rune because again, I'm just not a fan of Mr. Rune. These are 3 extra deck slots you can cut to make way for Azuna and Lupus extra deck. So Typhoon, a rank 5, and something and maybe even another rank 5 as well comes up for that scenario as well. So that's something if you want to play that or non-engine, you could very much so in this deck still, but I'm choosing not to just because I do still like the Seals line in this extra deck quite a lot. Now on to the side deck. The side deck doesn't necessarily matter, so this could be whatever the fuck you want it to be. Really just depends on how you side. Pirellia, this is mainly just for the Vanquish Soul matchup. That's really it. I really don't put this in any other matchup, to be honest with you. 3 Lancia, because Malice, Orcus, all that shit still exists. Lunalight still exists. You have to play Lancia. Pankratops, I'm still paying Pank. To be honest with you, this probably should be Droplet. It probably should be Droplet now just because we're playing Fenrir in the main now. So, honestly, this could probably just be a Droplet. So, this is a flex spot. I'm considering just putting Droplet in this side deck instead. 2 Thrust, 1 Talent, 1 Called By, 1 Feather Duster, 1 Black Goat last as well. So Thrust obviously is just a going second card. Also going first, you can side out like for Fua, you can go like Called By, 2 Thrust and a Black Goat, like just side out another card for that. And I am playing Black Goat. I think this card is good. I don't really like D-Barrier that much. I think Black Goat is just a better call in my opinion, so I'm playing Black Goat. Talents, Called By, Feather Duster, these are all just going second cards as well. Once you know you're going second, you just side out a little bit less engine, put these cards in, and you'll be perfectly fine as well. But again, this side deck can be whatever the hell you want it to be. It doesn't have to be this. This is just the side deck I'm rolling up with right now. So that is it for the deck. Now let's get into the combos, shall we? Alrighty, now on to the combo portion of the video here. So I'm not going to do a traditional combo portion here. There's not really like a 1 or 2 card combo like I can show off, to be honest with you. Dracotail is one of those decks where you kind of need to play with 5 cards in your hand because there truly isn't like a 1 to 2 card combo with it. So in this video, I'm just going to show off 3 sample hands with the decks, and hopefully we can show off, you know, the branded version of with it as well. So let's, without further ado, get into shuffling our deck a little bit here and draw ourselves a 5 card sample. 4, 5. Okay, so that's a good start. I'm not going to lie with you. Okay, we have Ash for like Fua and stuff like that. Again, we're not going to play against any hand traps, but like just me thinking in my head, you know, like am I okay now? I'm not scared of deployment because we have Ash and shit like that. Okay, so this is probably still worth it. So we can go Fusion Deployment. We'll reveal the Dracotail to go ahead and special out Cartesia. And then we'll go Effective Cartesia because we have Fallen in hand. Just use these two to go into Dracotail. Dracotail effect will go ahead and trigger to dump Titaniclad, wherever the fuck Titaniclad is at. There it is. Okay. I probably did this in the wrong order. You should probably summon Cartesia, then normal summon Lucas. Then go Lucas effect to go ahead and search for Femina. If I can find Femina. Where's Femina? There she is. Should do that first just to make sure you have this. Then like go Femina fuse to make sure like it goes through kind of thing. Because now we can go Femina effect, fuse, or discarding using this, and this is probably fine. So go ahead. Do I want to use the Ash? No, I don't. No, I don't. Summon out Athelion is probably fine. Yeah, Athelion's fine. We'll go Athelion, Chainlink 1, target Femina, Chainlink 2, Lucas, Chainlink 3, Pan. So we'll add back Lucas off of Athelion. And then set both Ketu and Rahu from the deck here. And then we'll go ahead and activate Rahu. We'll use the Femina, and probably Urgla is fine. Urg's fine. To go ahead and special out Gulamel. And then go Chainlink 1 Femina, Chainlink 2 Urgla, because we haven't triggered those guys yet, to go ahead and set both Flame and Horn from the deck here. Go ahead and set both of these guys here, and my cat is in the way. Do you want me to pick you up or what? There you go. Okay, she can sit right here. We have Horn and Flame, so we're good. Now we can go Urgla effect, bottom decking itself, and then adding back Femina back to hand. Now, unfortunately, we drew Pan, because usually I would want to go like Ketu, add back, or add a Pan, just so we have interruption with that scenario, right? But I guess in that case, we can't because we drew Pan. So I guess we'll just have that as interruption in the graveyard. So we'll just go Ketu to go ahead and search for Molulu instead. So when we use like Femina, we can fuse Molulu and like one of our names in our like Athelion on field to summon another Athelion. We bounce back, and then if they ever destroy a fusion, we can go Pan, special out Molulu, and have another way to fusion someone like that. But with that scenario, we now go to end phase. End phase, we can go Cartesia effect to add back herself to hand, and then we can go Titaniclad effect to go ahead and special out Quem from the deck here as well. Special out Quem. And then we already have Albaz in the graveyard, so there's no point to dump off of this Quim, to be honest with you. Because we could dump the second Cartesia, but I don't think there's really a point of dumping the second Cartesia. So in this scenario, I think this is a fine enough Enfield. We'll just pass on that, right? So in this scenario, you have both Horn and Flame as an interruption, plus the Galamo whenever, you know, can chain to pop a card. You still have Femina to fusion summon, right? You have monsters in the hand to fusion summon as well, so that's never a problem. You have Ash as an interruption. You have this if they ever summon something off a monster effect to summon out like the Lulu Walleth. You still have the Quem to summon out Fallen of Albaz as well. You still have Pan in graveyard as well if they ever destroy one of your fusion monsters. It just specials back a guy, which is nice. Like, they're not going to kill you through this field. You just have to make sure you have like follow-up is pretty much all you're worrying about for your next turn, because this field is pretty good. I'm not going to lie with you. A lot of interruptions, you know, you have plenty of cards in hands, you know, you're pretty much fine with that. Kind of a good first showcasing of what the deck can do. That was kind of a really insane first hand. Alrighty, now on to our second 5-card sample hand. We are going to do 3 of them. So again, we'll just give an up, not draw. Sorry, don't do that. We'll shuffle up first, and then we'll draw 5. That was actually a good draw too, because Fenrir is fucking insane. But we're going to shuffle first. 2, 3, 4, 5. That hand is... it's not good, but we can work with it. So this is like some of the scenarios. Like sometimes the Albaz monsters just kind of brick you, but at the end of the day, they are just monsters, so you can just still fusion summon with them. So in this case, we'll just special out Fenrir. Do we want to search off of Fenrir right now? Probably not, because like I can always just use this instead. Yeah, so we can just go normal summon that. Yeah. Normal summon effect to fuse. Use these 2 to go ahead and special out Aetherlion. Go Chainlink 1 Aetherlion targeting, I guess Molulu is fine, and then Chainlink 2 Molulu to go ahead and set a spell trap. In this case, what do I want to get? It's a little bit of a rough hand here. I guess we can go Rahu, but I guess we don't have the value off of Rahu, right? Because we already have Molulu engraved. It's a little rough. This hand is not the greatest in the world. I'm not going to lie with you. We could have, because we only got the 1 monster, so we only get 1 set off of this. And we can set Ketu for Femina, but that doesn't do anything in my opinion. I guess for the fusion summon isn't terrible, I guess. We can go Rahu Fuse to Gulamel, but that still doesn't do anything either, in my opinion. We need to get the Femina in rotation, in my opinion. So I think we have to get Ketu here. A little bit of a rough hand, I'm not going to lie with you. And then we can go, no, Ketu search first. This is just playing around Droll, just making sure your search, your first search is always this. So if you end up getting Drolled, you don't have to worry about the Fenrir search. So now we can go Fenrir to search. Go ahead and search for Fenrir. It's fine. So yeah, plenty of cards in hand. Like, it's a rough end field because we only ended up drawing the 1 monster or the 1 Dracotail name, and we had to use that to get Ketu, right? So it was just a little bit of a rough hand, I'm not going to lie with you. But like, this is still a lot, right? It's still a Fenrir banish, right? You have Femina effect to fuse, using like the Molulu and Fenrir to go into a second Aetherlion bounce 2. You still have Valor, you still have Ash, the Molulu gets you the follow-up. Even though it's a rough hand, like you just drew a lot of non-engine there, it still ends up working for you. It was rough because we only had the 1 Dracotail name with no other way to fusion summon, right? So unfortunate, it was unfortunate, but it still ended up working. This is still a lot of interruptions by technicality. It's just, you kind of have to play it correctly there. You couldn't get the full end field, but it was still fine. Alrighty, now on to the third and final 5-card sample hand. Hopefully it's a little bit better than the second one I just showed you, but that's, again, still fine because they ended up working. Not the greatest end field, but it still ended up working, right? So hopefully we can draw a little bit better here. No, don't mill. I meant to shuffle, please. Shuffle first. Shuffle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. Wow. That's... Okay, so we need this Rahu to resolve, basically, is what this hand is telling me. Okay, if this doesn't resolve, we lose. Like, we just straight up lose, but it's fine. Rahu, using Femina. We drew Femina, which was cool. We just didn't draw any other name to pair with it, which was unfortunate. I guess we can send Urgula, which is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Get Urgula in rotation. To summon out Aetherlion. And then go Aetherlion, Chainlink 1, we target Femina is fine. And then Urgula 2, Femina 3 to set Ketu and Horn Ketu is here. If I can get to it, thank you. Set both of these guys, and then we can go activate Ketu, search for Molulu, I guess is fine. Like, yeah, I guess Molulu is not terrible just to get in rotation. We just like normal summon it. And then we pass. That doesn't sound good. We can go Lucas search. I'm more fine with that. Yeah, I'd much rather do that. We'll just do that. Normal summon Lucas. Effect is search for Pan, just so we have it. Like, we can search, like, we can get another fusion summon. I just don't think it's worth doing that, right? Like, I'd much rather, like, we can go Femina effect to fuse. I guess we can fuse both of these off, which is fine, into a Mr. Rune, I guess. I guess we could do that. I guess that's not terrible. I guess we can go Femina, fuse these two off. Again, we already drew Flame, though, which is, like, annoying as fuck. So we can use Mr. Rune. We can do Secretarian. That doesn't do anything, though. There's no point in doing that. We'll just do Mr. Rune. And then go Lucas effect to set. And then this is realize where they have the fucking trap card, because we set not Flame, but Rahu. And then we go Urgla effect, bottom decking itself, and then adding back Femina to hand there. And then we set and pass, and we just pray. So, like, that's still a lot of interruptions, right? You still got to both traps, even though we ended up hard drawing one of them, right? We got Mr. Rune, which is still an interruption. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Mr. Rune, it still is an interruption piece. So you can't really complain about that. So I guess that is still something to think about. You still have Femina to fuse with Pan, right? Unfortunately, you have to use one of the hand traps, but if you get a draw off a Flame or Horn, you're perfectly fine, right? Like, Pan's another interruption, plus follow-out, and you're going to summon an Atherline, which is a bounce 2 as well. So, you know, again, going first is, you know, the problem with Dracotail. Like, sometimes it doesn't look good, but you kind of just have, if you play it correctly, you can still pretty much win the game going first. But that is going to be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.